This video is brought to you by Sporlan, quality, integrity, and tradition.
Today we have a service call on a kitchen AC that is not working. I just showed up probably about 3 months ago, and there was a couple new ACs on the roof at this location. I had no idea they were getting new ACs, but that condenser is plugged. So complaint is that the kitchen AC is not working. Look at this. Look at like these units. Look at this one. Notice that curb adapter? That's pretty choice looking. Curb adapter's 12 inches bigger than the roof opening. Like this is my competition, huh? Apparently I charged too much to do it right. I didn't even know they wanted new units up here. But like even the curb adapters, look at how much bigger the unit is. Holy moly. The units are even bigger, but look at this. Over here, look at this one too. That's insane. Why don't people size the curbs right? That seems odd. Okay, well, enough looking around. Let's go ahead and look at the unit I'm supposed to be looking at. So this one is not theirs. This is another person, another tenant on this building. So this one right here, first off, disconnect switch is on. Open this up, and it says idle. It was off on alarm a minute ago. It said something about low pressure. Oh, there you go. Number one, compressor number one, locked out due to low pressure. Okay. What's the next code? Number two, using return instead of space temp. What the hell does that mean? Whatever. I gotta figure out how to reset this. After like 5 or 6 minute startup delay, all I did was cycle power to the unit and it started up and it's running now. I don't know if it does have low pressure or not. It's got a cold suction, so it's not out of gas. Hot discharge. I better go get some service gauges and check them out. See what's going on here. So this is the low pressure control. I would have thought it would have done a high pressure control because, let's see what it says right now, because it has a dirty condenser. Let's see if it shows the alarm right now. What alarm it has, because I just pulled the wire for the high pressure control. Compressor one shut down due to high pressure. No, it's reading correct. I was curious if it was like gonna say whatever, but all right, I'll just cycle power again, go get some service gauges and gauge up on this guy. We'll definitely have to clean that condenser at some point, but let's follow through with figuring out what the heck is going on here. I just rinsed off the condenser, like there's water dripping everywhere, but check this out. This whole roofing material, it's got water underneath it. I don't know if it's just the pad or if it's under the roof. That's hilarious. What the heck? Like, that's insane. That's funny. All right, well, I haven't gotten gauges yet. The unit's running. I wanted to see. So we got a 60-degree supply, 84-degree return. I mean, so far it seems like it's working, but we still need to put service gauges on it. Watch this. Sliding my foot, and there we go. It's all leaking out, and then it just sucks right back in. That's funny. All right, we're all probed up on this guy. So what I did, we don't have liquid ports. So we got all of our temperature clamps, high pressure, low pressure. It's a single stage. This is just a 5-ton unit. Everything's all clamped in. Liquid temperature is just before the TXV. Outdoor air temperature I have tucked right over there in the shade. And then we have supply and return. So what's really interesting about this first off, we still kind of have a wet condenser, so it's going to be a few minutes. Airflow doesn't look too bad, and refrigerant pressures don't look bad. I don't see a reason for it to go off on low pressure. It's kind of odd, right? I'm going to watch it for a bit because we got to let that condenser dry out. So we got no approach. Let's see, liquid line temperature is 90 degrees. And what's my outdoor air temperature? 92. So liquid line temperature is below outdoor air, but that's because we have a wet condenser. We're not looking bad at all. Liquid line temp is 97.6. Superheat's a little bit low. Subcooling, it's not too bad. I expect it to be there. Outdoor air temperature is 92, so our condenser's nice and dry now, or it's drying up. We've got an approach temperature. Calculated target, the TD is a little bit wonky, but that's not bad. Airflow is not bad. Delivered capacity is kind of low. Wonder if we got an airflow issue causing that low capacity. It's not horrible though. This unit's kicking. That's subcooling. I gotta figure that. I mean, that superheat being that low is a little strange. Wonder if the TXV, notorious for having loose TXV sensing bulbs, that's up there. Well, the insulation's all missing from it. So it's not loose, but it needs some insulation to strap it all up. I'm gonna get my hand in here. Oh wait, is it loose? No, it doesn't feel loose. I don't think so. All right, well, I'm gonna look into that a little bit more, get that insulated, and maybe that'll drop my superheat, or raise my superheat a little bit. Never mind, I spoke too soon. It's totally loose. Typical. It's a very common thing with the Yorks. And then what happens is the insulation gets worn out, and then the discharge line is run right next to that, and the heat just kills the sensing bulb. So I'm gonna see if I can get that strapped up better. These are a pain in the butt, and then get it insulated as best as possible. So like I said, it's really important that you get these tightened on. If you pop the top on the unit, you can get to the screw right up there. So now I'm gonna insulate the heck out of it. So hopefully it doesn't pick up that discharge line temp, and then let's see what our superheat does. Got the unit all put back together, and we're just watching the unit stabilize out, but it already looks a lot better. 9.3 degrees superheat, subcooling's definitely higher. Delivered capacity is still kind of wonky, but it could be my probe placement too, because it's not ideal putting air probes in these package units up here. We're getting temperature differential though, so all right, well, we're gonna let it run for a little bit longer. Looks like it's kind of stabilizing out now. So these things are weird. We'll give it some time. What is it calling for? It's actually calling for 52,000 BTUs based off of the indoor conditions. So yeah, see how it's kind of bouncing around. That happens kind of. I never really understood why that happens, but all right, well, like I said, I'm gonna watch it for a little bit longer. I'm not super familiar with these York Simplicity boards, but I think what I found was that it wasn't using the thermostat for control, and I think it was using the zone sensors. So I went in and I changed it to the control to thermostat only. So now the thermostat is controlling Y1, Y2 and all that good stuff. I think that's what I found. I don't know why it was giving me that zone sensor thing, but if there isn't a zone sensor, then it's going to default to the return air temperature when it's in standalone unit control. Oftentimes, and again, I could be talking out of my butt right now, but oftentimes on these units, and I think you can do it from this one, you can control the unit from in here, and you can just run a zone sensor downstairs, and if the zone sensor was to fail, then it would default to the return air temperature sensor instead of a room temp sensor. And that was the error that it was giving us. Now the low pressure error, I have no flipping idea, because there's no low pressure condition on this unit. Even though the, yeah, there's no low pressure condition at all. This is a 410A unit. Superheat's still doing fine, 9 degrees, subcooling 10 degrees. I mean, this guy's doing everything it can. Delivered capacity seems fairly decent now. So yeah, I think that this thing was set up for standalone only mode. which wouldn't surprise me. These guys, the way this, look, the gas is, they installed these units and they never even turned on the gas, which means it's probably never been commissioned. Like, it's all, every one of these new units. It's a joke. So, yeah, I'm just gonna watch it for a little bit longer. All right, everything is working. It's already satisfied and started back up. So by me putting it into thermostat control, we verified that the thermostat turned it off and the thermostat turned it back on. So far so good. Couple things I don't understand when they did this install. You have a 1-inch drain line. You have a 1-inch drain line coming out of the unit, yet they reduced it to 3/4 and then used and back up to 1 inch. Like, I guess you can't fix stupid, really. I mean, look at that curb adapter. That's just ridiculous. Like, maybe I should stop trying to do things the right way. Maybe I'd make more money if I didn't do things the right way. You know what I mean?
You know, I never found the reason for the low pressure control situation, like the low pressure. I'm kind of dumbfounded with this. This video was shot about 2 weeks ago. It's currently July 23rd of 2024. We haven't had a repeat. You know, I don't know. I really don't. They do have a company that does like filter changes and belt changes for them, like a national company. Maybe they did something. I don't know. I did have a service call on this exact unit about a month previous to this service call, maybe 2 months previous. And when I went up onto the roof, the disconnect switch was off. All I did was turn the disconnect switch on. And it was working fine, but I did not dig into anything else because it started right up and it was running. So I didn't go through the programming. I did notice the curb adapters, and I did notice I don't think I filmed a video on it. I don't think I posted a video. Maybe you guys can tell me. I'm so lost on the videos that I'm posting lately. I'm just like in a blur with work and stuff. It has been a crazy, crazy summer. I really have to say that this summer alone has made me like rethink life choices, like genuinely. Like, it's exhausting, like really exhausting. I just don't even know how to describe it. But yeah, I mean, I went through this unit. I did find that it was in that one of the alarms was the zone sensor failure, which I think someone, when they started it up, they didn't commission it right and they did it in standalone mode. I did go ahead and clean the condenser off. You guys saw the funny water thing after I did that. Other than that, couldn't find anything else wrong with the unit. I mean, I think it's working fine. A very common thing on those York units. I did find out today too, they're no longer called York Predators. They renamed them. I don't remember what the guy told me. I was getting a quote on a New York unit and I said, yeah, it's just a York Predator. And he's like, yeah, they're no longer called a York Predator. They're called, it's not Sunline, because Sunline was previous to York Predator, but it's something Sun, I think. I don't know. It's why would they rename the unit? It's the same unit. Like, whatever. Who knows? On another note, I just read today, as of today, 7/23/24, it's official that Bosch just bought all of Johnson Controls light commercial and residential line. So I think that includes these York light commercial units, right? So that's a trip. Bosch bought it all for a cash deal. That's pretty crazy. I wish I had some of that kind of cash, you know what I mean? But when I did my best, you know, I can only do so much with this equipment. Very important though, that you always make sure that when you're diagnosing things, a lot of these newer units, they have the ability to have like standalone mode. They have ability to have test mode and all these different functions. But really important when you're diagnosing these things, always start at the thermostat. Turn the thermostat on, test it, see if the thermostat's working right. You know, and see if you're getting a call for cooling from the thermostat. Now, the first time that I went out there and I found that the disconnect switch was off, I turned it on and then the unit started working. So I really didn't think too much more of it. And this is the kind of stuff that is kind of crazy. When you have other companies doing this work, you never know what they've done before you. I just recently, like last week's video was the walk-in freezer that was marginally sized. It's like right at the threshold. But then they never set the superheat. They never installed the defrost clock. Like, and it's exhausting trying to like figure everything else. I stopped having sympathy because, you know, in the past I would think, well, the first time I came out here, had I gone through the entire unit, maybe I would have found this and they would have generated the service call. But you know what? I stopped being worried about that stuff because it's like, why am I going to bend over backwards to check every single, feature of this unit when they had someone else install it? Of course, I'm going to try my best. And of course, I'm going to, try to look out for the customer as best as possible. But I stopped having sympathy, especially when they're using other companies. And, a lot of people say, well, if they're used another company, you should fire them as a customer. I mean, you got to be practical. If I fired every customer that pissed me off, I wouldn't have any customers, I mean, you got to stay in business. So you got to deal with some crap. You really do. It's just how it works. You do your best to take care of the customers and to look out for them. And you also have to understand when you're dealing with like corporate restaurants, there's a person that is on special projects and all that their job is to go out and install new air conditioners, that are 10 years old or older at every restaurant within this region, right? And facilities directors are who we normally communicate with as service technicians and business owners. Facilities directors oftentimes don't even have any idea that this stuff is going on. A facilities director just literally answers emails from the service companies and says, yeah, this isn't worth fixing, replace it, right? And then sometimes they push that on to another person at the corporate office, and that person handles the replacements, and they have their own people. So, it's just kind of a game you have to play when you're dealing with these corporate restaurants, and you just have to learn to deal with it, right? And gone are the days of you're the service provider, you do all the work, you do all the installs, and there's loyalty to you. That doesn't exist very much anymore. I mean, there's a certain level of that with some of my customers, but for the most part, that doesn't exist anymore, especially when you get into these big corporate chains. They have their, people that do these projects and just go out and do these replacements. And I can tell you guys something. So without revealing company names and stuff, I can tell you that the company that installed those package units is a mold remediation company. And the reason why I know that is because they had all the equipment shipped to their office, and there's packing slips on these units. Those packing slips say the name of the company and their address, and they're in Southern California. And I just Googled the name, and it's like their website says mold remediation. So they're just like a general construction company, and they're probably slow. So they probably bid on these jobs, and lowest bidder wins. And this is what you get for lowest bidder, I can also tell you that I did reach out to a certain person at the corporate office that I may or may not know. And that person said, oh yeah, that project is a joke, man. That stuff is just happening everywhere across the country. And it's like, wow, okay, interesting. That's just how it works. So all that I can do is my best. And we are in the middle of this crazy heat wave in Southern California. It's funny. It was taking forever to get here. And then now it's like, oh my gosh, I'm over this heat wave. It's relentless. And the amount of stupid stuff that is happening that is leading to compounding problems, I don't think there's going to be a video on this because I filmed some of it, but it just didn't work out. But I'm currently working on a walk-in freezer that had a dirty condenser that was going off on thermal overload no matter what, even after we cleaned the condenser. So I changed the compressor, and then that led to electrical gremlin problems, not with the compressor. Compressor's running fine, but it's just like unpacking crap, and it's like exhausting, and the bill just keeps climbing and climbing. And I'm like, I feel bad, but then at the same time for the customer, I'm like, it's not my problem. You're not doing normal routine maintenance. If you were doing routine maintenance, maybe we'd catch these problems before they became these catastrophic compounding issues that just turn into a disaster, and here we are, but hey, I'm appreciative of the work. I'm appreciative that my family is safe, healthy, and, I got to be thankful for some things. There's frustrating things that I have with a business, running a business. There's there's benefits, there's all kinds of stuff. And you just have to learn to deal with it, take the punches to the chin, when you have to, and just keep on trucking, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to keep on trucking. But I will tell you that I am seriously reconsidering some life choices lately. I really am. I really appreciate you guys making it to the end. Thanks for listening to my rant. Let me know in the comments. Are you like going crazy? I'm curious for the technicians, right? Because there's days that I dream that I could just be a service technician for a company where I wouldn't have any responsibility, I wouldn't have any stress, just go to work, fix things. Oh man, it's 6 o'clock. I gotta go home. See ya. You know, like I wish that I could live that life. Do you live that life? Do you, even though you're a service technician without any ownership, are you stressing about the customer? Do you bend over backwards? Do you go out when you're not on call? Those are all things that I wish I could do, like not have to be on call all the time, right? But I mean, you know, again, there's obviously benefits to running a business, you know? There's obviously, I mean, when I want to, I can make my own schedule kind of a thing. But let me know in the comments, how's your summer going? Is it crazy? Is it chaotic? If you don't want to put it in the comments, feel free to shoot me an email, hvacrvideos@gmail.com. So if you guys haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It definitely helps the channel to grow, helps the algorithm, all that good stuff. Share the videos with friends. If you think they're cool, share them. Get other people's perspectives. If you have criticism, give it to me. I'm not afraid to accept criticism. Leave it in the comments. Feel free to shoot me an email if you want to shoot me an email. Again, hvacrvideos@gmail.com. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you know, the easiest way to support this channel is literally just watch the videos from beginning to end. That really is the easiest way. You can also support the channel via PayPal, Patreon, or YouTube channel memberships. There's links in the show notes of this videos. Those are all monthly commitments that you can make. Actually, PayPal is not a monthly commitment. That's just a random donation that you choose to do. But Patreon and YouTube channel memberships, those are all monthly commitments you can choose to make. You can also support the channel by going to my website, hvacrvideos.com. That's where we have these hats available, beanies, sweatshirts. We also have flat bill hats. We have, this is a dad hat. This is for someone who has a really small forehead, especially like bald people that don't have a giant forehead like me. We also have a flat bill hat, right? If you like the flat bill, all of them have black underbills. That's really important. The flat bill is a flex fit, but it's also a snapback. My favorite is this hat. This one is a breathable material that it's hard to explain, but if I show it to the light, you can see light through the hat, but it's not a trucker hat. It's a really interesting activewear material. So if you're interested, hvacrvideos.com. Last but not least, you can go to truetechtools.com. If you see me using tools that you like the job link probes from Fieldpiece in this video, you can find those at truetechtools.com. If you use my affiliate code, big picture, one word, at checkout, you can get an 8% discount on majority of the items on their website, and then I get a small commission from that. So it's a great way to help support the channel. Again, thank you so very much. I really do appreciate you. Take care of yourself. Remember, your health, your sanity is important. I'm talking to you because I'm not listening to myself. My health and my sanity are in danger. And I need to prioritize my health and my sanity over work. And that's a very difficult thing when you're running a business. So do as I say, not as I do. Take care of yourself. Love your family. Again, thank you so very much. I really do appreciate you. And we will catch you on the next one.